And so I said, where'd you put your beans? Back to formula. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the one, the only pop culture podcast on the entire internet. That is
literally
true.
The only one.
There are no others.
No others. We have no competitors, direct or indirect.
Called the Big Damn Cast.
Absolutely not.
We're one of a kind. We're wombling free. And we are also...
one of a kind of which there are many.
Oh, God. Many what? Many meats.
Chris, did your dog just fart?
Possibly.
Oh, that smells...
I didn't smell it because I burped out Yazoo or whatever it is I'm drinking at the same time.
It could have also been you burping out...
banana-flavoured milk.
As does banana-flavoured milk.
It's pretty damn tasty. As I've mentioned, my name is Christopher... Ooh, that's meaty, Johnson.
My name is Willem Dafoe.
Hi, Willem.
Hello.
Tell us about your latest movie, The Lighthouse.
Why just spill your beans?
Thanks, Willem. You guys can catch that soon in cinemas everywhere. One of two movies coming out that are in 4:3 and shot to look like an older film. The other one's The Mountain.
It's not in 4:3.
Oh.
It's in 1:11:9.
Oh, damn!
It's a square.
It's a flat square, okay.
Time is a flat circle.
Time is a circle of beans. The other one's The Mountain with Jeff Goldblum, which looks really sort of uncomfortable as well. That's the one about the guy who invented the sort of the shortcut lobotomy.
Oh,
when you go through the eye.
Ice pick lobotomy.
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and but they've got Goldblum to play him. So like it's that weird thing of they're playing off the fact this guy was apparently quite weirdly kooky and charismatic, but ultimately was a pretty damn despicable human being.
Yeah.
Because of course he invented that not like for some noble medical reason of like, oh god, there's this severe this, that, the other, blah, 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 but we've got to do... There's nothing noble about lobotomy,
no.
Stop. But he also would, of course, administer it to people who were punished at a certain level, people in prisons, people who were gay.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, good lord, this is a horrible person. So what did they do? Masterstroke, cast one of the most likeable men in the world to play the part.
Yeah.
To make you feel really creeped out. Meanwhile, the most likeable man in Hollywood is playing the most likeable man in American television history. Because that trailer came out for Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers. Won't You Be My Neighbour? And I really hope that coming out finally makes them release the Mr. Rogers... I think it was called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or something. The documentary film
that came out what you mean.
last year in the States to release it over here. Because, of course, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was not a show over here.
No. It's a cultural American... It's an American cultural icon.
But it's one of those that whenever stuff pops up about him and you read into it, you go... Oh my god, this man was wonderful.
Do you think he might have been the second coming of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ?
No, I think he was something better. I think he was Xenu. That's one of the Scientology ones, isn't it?
He was the reincarnation of the prophet Joseph Smith.
He was in Battlefield Earth. While he was trying to spell his name! So, yeah.
Alfred the bartender!
Fucking hell.
That's a great...
No, it isn't.
It's not.
It's a good time, but not because it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's an entertaining movie. It's an entertaining movie.
I made Kiki watch Venom a few nights back.
Oh, why would you do that?
Because I just wanted to make another human feel pain.
Okay, that's perfectly reasonable.
She hated it.
Actually, I take it back. That's the one time where lobotomy is the more acceptable solution.
Hated it.
Of course she did. She's got a sensible head on her shoulders.
I was just grinning the whole time.
Knock, knock, let the devil in, malevolent as I've ever been.
That post-credit scene just...
Oh, Woody Harrelson in a freaking clown shop joke store wig.
It's so bad.
Oh, Lord. It's awful. And it's going to get a sequel.
It's not a movie that bears repeat watchings.
Andy Serkis is currently in talks to direct the follow-up.
And Travis Knight as well is throwing his hat in the ring.
Guys, don't. Just
Andy,
don't.
you don't need to do this.
You really don't need to do this, dude. Step back. Knock, knock, show the devil out.
Please do.
God. But yeah, but that's it for our current film news. Well, speaking of Woody Harrelson, you finally got around to watching
the Zombieland Double Tap trailer.
Yeah, which sort of just escaped our thing. It came out the day after we recorded last week.
Yeah.
I watched it on a train and my 4G buffered 3 times, so I got up to the...
You should not watch it on a train.
I got up to the last gag. You should not watch it on a plane.
You should not watch it on a plane because you're supposed to turn your phone off.
Oh, yeah. Well, they can have them on now.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It's almost like they realised that it wasn't a thing about a decade after Mythbusters busted it.
Yeah, true story, guys. You will not disrupt equipment in a theatre or a cinema if you have your phone on. But if you turn your phone on during the film or show... I will personally find you and slap you. I have some goddamn respect for not only the people on stage or / who made the movie and the people around you, but also for your own wallet. You've paid a lot of money to Venom. Well, not true. What do you think? It's a movie 10 years in the making, quite literally, because just went, fuck it, let's do another one.
It looks like another Zombieland. Quite literally, in a way.
Yeah, but a shortcut, in a sense. Because the family's all together at the start this time. It's not about them meeting each other.
I think it looks like it could be really good fun.
Yeah, same.
Even if it's just an hour and a half of those characters bouncing off each other, rattling around like peas in a zombie can.
I would love to spend more time with, what do you call it?
Tallahassee,
Columbus, Wichita?
What's... Little Rock.
Like... It was a great movie to the point where, like, I probably not watched it in about 7 years, and I just managed to, with our tag team help, name all the characters. So that shows how much of a mark it leaves. It's great. It's so much fun, and the fact that we're getting another bite of the apple is just nice to see.
Another bite of the arm.
Also, Thomas Middleditch.
Yes.
Which makes me happy. David Arquette.
Yeah.
Who plays the airheaded character?
I'm not sure.
I'm intrigued to find out what that's about, mostly because I'm like, how has she survived for presumably 10 years? Because Little Rock is all grown up, so they've made a point of saying that a decade has gone by. I love how it opens with Academy Award winner Woody Harrelson, Academy Award nominee Jesse Eisenberg, Academy Award nominee Abigail Breslin, Academy Award winner Emma Stone, and then just rap songs and beat the shit out of zombies on the White House lawn. You're like, okay! And that's all happened in the 10 years since the original.
What do you want for Christmas, little girl? I want you to stop calling me little girl. Please.
I have nothing against hippies. I just want to beat the shit out of them.
It looks like it's going to be great. I mean, the first one was great. This one should be great also. Again, even if it is just more of the first one.
And it's from the same guys as well. It's the same creators, so it's,
Because they've been wanting to do it for ages.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was briefly going to be an Amazon TV series. Which is what it was originally going to be, a TV series. They pitched it as a TV series. They got rejected copious times because they were told back in 2007 when they were pitching it, no one will watch a zombie TV series.
Someone got fired!
Yeah.
Someone got fired for that decision!
But yeah, the film... That was the thing. The film came out, I think, the same year as the first season of Walking Dead premiered.
Well, I think... Here's the thing.
And the response, like, even them, the writers in interviews, were saying, like,
it wouldn't have been successful as a TV series because people only like zombie TV shows that are deadly serious and fucking boring. So, anything with any sort of spark of humour or anything interesting about it would have fallen flat, to be fair.
Yeah. Speaking of falling flat, I don't know what the next topic is, how we're going to segue.
I don't know.
Stuff. I'm sure there was another piece of news. So this week, guys, right? Just to fill you in. Normally, we have a little table of contents that we plan from.
Yeah.
Or more recently, we've gone like, right, we'll talk about that and that. Cool, great. And today, all sense and structure has gone out the window because today is the day where anyone living in the UK. Do you remember on Wednesday?
Yeah.
When the heavens shat themselves.
We just got pissed on.
We are soaked.
And it rained.
Yeah, well, that too. Christ alive! It completely threw everything out of whack.
Also,
It's taken nearly a whole banana flavoured milk drink to get me back to rights.
I'm in the last couple of weeks before I quit my day job and go back to freelancing full time, and
the SDJ.
Yes,
the SDJ.
Quitting the SDJ, and also I have to move out of my house temporarily this weekend.
Oh, goes that this weekend
for a week while I get the living room damp proofed. So that's gonna be fun. Gonna be.
We do realise that like you guys have to come and hang out at least a couple nights over that.
Well, Keeks is gonna be here.
Yeah, but I mean, like you're gonna have to come over here some nights and stuff, and just.
I'm
like,
gonna be at my parents with the cats.
Yeah, in little papooses.
Yeah. Oh, poor Pepper.
They'll just be like,
so upset.
She's gonna be freaking out because guaranteed they're both gonna go back to yours.
Oh yeah.
Because like
I'm not gonna let them out.
The distance between these houses to sort of put a picture in the listeners' heads is like about 5 to 10 minute walk. If that.
We walk to visit my folks, Talon will follow us.
Yeah.
He will come with us to
go
visit
into the
my
house
parents.
and chill.
Yeah, and he'll just chill out there.
Whereas now they're going to do that.
Enough.
They're going to go back to the house and be like, "Why is no one feeding me here?
Talon will be fine.
Why is no one letting me in to feed me?"
He's already been there. He's stayed there before. After the fire, he stayed there for a while.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
But Pepper, she was really unhappy when we moved last time. So she's really not going to like being uprooted for a week.
Tell her to deal with it. She can come live here.
Nope.
Okay.
Can you imagine Pepper and Minnie?
Oh God! Can you imagine Pepper and Luna? They'd form some kind of like sort of hermit society where they'd go and live on a tall pile or something somewhere else in the house together. And every now and again, Luna would be like, "It's nice to find out someone to confide in. Where the hell did you go?" Pepper will be like hidden under
a pair of eyes in the shadow,
or under the bath or something. Just like, oh,
well, she'll do to you what she does to us, which is she sits on your bedside table and just stares at you intently, and then you wake up and she's just there.
Well, I did recently clear my bedside table. I was so proud of it that I Instagram storied it because we're all dying. I was watching the special features on Us on the Blu-ray last night.
Yes.
And they're all about the making of and this, that and the other. But the one special feature was just 5 minutes of improv conversation between Winston Duke and Tim Heidecker of them on the lounges just talking on the beach. And none of it was stuff that was used in the film. So they were just rolled for like a couple of hours and they spitballed and whatever. And then bits of it were picked out for the film. And the special feature was just called... We're all dying. That was all it was called. that was the only. I was like, "What's that? We're all dying," and I clicked on it. It was just 5 minutes of essentially improv outtakes.
Brilliant.
I was like, "Oh my God, that's incredible! That is incredible!" That someone sat there and went, "Oh fucking hell, we're all dying."
I watched Black Panther again this weekend.
Never a bad thing.
Winston Duke's really good in that movie.
He's so good. He is so good.
That first fight scene with him and fucking.
T'Challa,
Chadwick Boseman, that's it. I was like, it's not Colin. Why am I thinking Colin? It's definitely not Colin. It's Colin.
We have watched
Bob.
And listen.
Oh, it's
from the mountains.
It's so good. He's so imposing. And then you watch him in Us, and he's just
the most adorable man
such
ever.
a dork. Who then becomes
it is both uncomfortable and hilarious when he starts putting on a front in the driveway where he's like, if you want to get crazy, then we'll get crazy. And you're just like, it's upset. The commentary here is like so on point. It's so upsetting that he's having to do that to come across as intimidating, but even that is considered intimidating.
Razor sharp satire,
but at the same time, because we've got to know Gabe for the last 25 minutes, it's kind of adorable to watch him try and play off as tough.
You are not a tough man, are you?
And yet, like all that in Black Panther, he's frightening.
Oh yeah,
like he's frightening, and then he's like really sweet later on.
Shut up! If he's pizza, get out and feed him to my children. Oh, we don't do that. We're vegetarian. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Are you done? Are you done?
Winston Duke in more things, please.
Yes, I agree and concur.
No, what we are going to talk about this week, is on the back of this last weekend where we had MCM,
rivaling conventions.
You had MCM in Manchester and LFCC in London, neither of which we went to.
Yeah.
Because I am too poor / too employed to go, which is a bad combination.
Employed.
You're
too employed.
To go to the con. I was at my shitty day job for it on Saturday, which was unfortunate because my shitty day job is pretty much a street away from Manchester Central. So, yeah.
We can say that because within 2 weeks, like no one can stalk you to find you. You'll be gone. I mean, we'll get into convention memories, and we'll get into why I personally don't go anymore. As well in a bit, because I used to attend.
And why I've
anyone who's been to my house knows, or watched my Instagram story, and I've been in my hallway, knows that there is a wall. Of like autograph and prints and con photos up against one wall. I have not attended a con since 2015, and I'll get into that in a bit.
I'm a convention guy in theory, but in practice not so much.
Oh god, yeah! One of my favourite convention memories ever was my first LSCC.
I think I've been to maybe
which was
5.
with you and Charlie. Went to London Super Comic Con in 2011. I want to say.
It was 2011, yeah.
Yeah, Twisted Dark. Dan Slott was there, but this is before like we sort of knew him and talked to him.
He was at the one the year after as well, which I went to, and I got Amazing 700 and Superior 1 signed.
Dude, that's awesome. I was just that's really cool because I got Superior 1 and Amazing #1 All New All Different signed. So we've sort of got like the significant ones in a row there. That's quite cool. Bless him. And I got a personalised version of Silver Surfer 11 because he was naughty, and when we were doing 9 is 10 stuff, he showed me like sort of the storyboard version of it because he really wanted to tell somebody, but he wasn't allowed to tell anyone. So he was like,
I love it.
You're not going to tell anyone, are you? I was like, no. He's like, thanks for okay, here we go. And he just showed it me. I was like, oh, it's great. So then I bought it when it came out, read it, loved it, and went to meet him at LFCC 2015.
Yes.
But to give him a gift and to thank him for doing the 9 is 10 podcast. And then when I was there, I was like, is there any chance I'm going to get this signed? He was like, absolutely. So you've seen that. That's framed on the stairwell.
Absolutely.
It's just got like a message on the front.
Yes.
So,
it's a beautiful piece.
I always prefer to get stuff personalised when it's signed, because then it is actually yours. Isn't it? Like it's your bag. I get it for timing sometimes, it's just in case they just sign. But there is something kind of nicer about it, knowing that it's just your bag. Like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yes.
But yeah, this past weekend, as we said, MCM Comic Con was going on. The con that happens in Birmingham and in London and stuff, but this was the Manchester one, which is now sort of happening usually on the same weekend during the summer as London Film and Comic Con, LFCC, which is the big one from the company Showmasters. There's various reasons for this that are circulating. They've never been sort of announced officially, but there's always rumours and whatnot that it's down to certain guests being displeased with the LFCC experience.
Yeah.
The cost of LFCC getting egregious and hard to do. Like, it's an expensive thing to get the tickets, and then even to get like one autograph nowadays, like the prices have gone up so much that it's a very expensive day out. Like a very expensive day out.
That's one of the biggest things that's put me off. That put me off cons in recent years when I've not had as much money. When I had more money and when I was doing better, then it would be more fun. But like you've got to, not only have you got to pay for the tickets and getting in, but then you've got to pay for everything in there.
Well, even the rental for stalls and stuff. Like part of the reason why I still enjoyed going to them even when I wasn't autograph hunting was the stalls, like looking for bargains or looking for cool toys and cool books for relatively reasonable prices. It was about going to a place and be like, oh shit, I can get like 20 issues that I don't have from that run of that book, and so what, it come to about 25 quid. What? Oh, you'll do it for 20. Oh my god, that's amazing, thank you so much, brilliant.
Yeah, back when I was collecting floppies, I got the most of Grant Morrison's new X-Men running floppies from LSCC.
Well, LFCC over the last few years is always, I think now it's settled in at the Olympia site.
Yeah.
But it sometimes used the main Earls Court site a few times. And,
well, when we went to LFCC,
the last time I went to was in there, I think.
That was in...
LSCC was in Excel.
Yeah, Excel.
It took up one of the... Because the Excel's got like 3 big units for convention centres, hasn't it?
So that was the 2 I went to were there.
And like that sort of stuff was cool. I bought, the last time I went to the one in the Earls Court Centre, I bought the entire... apart from 2 books that already had JMS Spidey run in the UK paperbacks.
Yes.
Yeah. I was so happy. I was like, yay, I filled in the gaps. I can finally read these books that are in a box in the loft at my mum's in UK reprints already. I can now read them like in a concise little pile that only takes up a certain amount of space on a shelf. This is great. And I've recently reread them and I fucking love them. And
that JMS run is...
And then there's one more day. But
and Original Sin.
Not
original. Sins Past.
Sins Past, yeah. Oh god. Oh, Sins Past.
Hachi machi.
Oh no, Jack, you're mean. No like. Well, at least it's retcon. Oh wait, no. Gabe comes back in American Son.
Oh, American Son happened, didn't it?
It was back in American Son and the Harry Osborn tie-in, the Osborn Legacy tie-in, whatever it was, that came out at the same time, confirming that those kids still exist.
Cool.
Ooh. Anywho, for various reasons they've sort of become rival cons, but as a result that means that guests have places to choose from. Now the Manchester one is steadily growing. This year it got some quite big takes, like Sean Gunn and Michael Rooker were there, so if you're a Guardians fan, hey, you've got Standing Rocket / Kraglin and Yondu at the Manchester convention.
Plus, I know, in other work, they're also like Sean Gunn's being in Gilmore Girls, Michael Rooker's Walking Dead, bunch of James Gunn projects, and being Michael Rooker.
Yeah. He's Mary Poppins, y'all.
He is. We also had All or Nothing Troy Baker.
Yes, which is the one reason why I was sad I couldn't go at any point, because, had I known that a couple months ago, I would have been like, right, I'm definitely going to go that day. I'll buy a ticket now. I'll get a ticket to their thing. Then I'll leave and be really happy and be like, hey, I'm at freaking Nathan and Sam Drake.
Two of my absolute favourite generic white dudes in video games.
God, they're so good. They are the most common generic white dudes.
So generic white dude, but I do like them.
Nolan's my favourite Deadpool as well. Like his performance as Deadpool. Forget the game, because the game could be all encompassing. But Hulk versus when he first played him. Like, that was so cool, because that was like the first time we ever saw animated Deadpool ever, aside from one cameo in the background of a scene in the X-Men animated series.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh my god, that's really cool. This is what he could sound like? Hey Logan, it's me! I shot you! It's just like fading out of consciousness before he wakes back up in the lab. It's great. And Troy Baker's one of my favourite Jokers as well.
Oh, yeah.
I present to you the death of the Batman.
See, Troy Baker, for me, when I think of Troy Baker, I think of Last of Us.
Yeah, Joel, of course, yeah. See? Big names. Yeah. Big names, son. But LFCC is still the big UK convention, and as such brings in Hollywood stars, big stars of American and British television, anime, voiceover people, artists, writers, sometimes producers of just like significant franchises come over and do panels and stuff.
I dare say the majority of the various photos you've got up of photo ops and autograph signings are
LFCC related. Absolutely. And that was because 2008, 2009, I think it was my first couple.
Yeah.
A lot more doable. Like, I did not have money to spend at that point.
No.
But I could still afford to save up for an entry ticket and a couple of photo shoots, or a couple of autographs and photo shoots over the years. And also, back then, they wouldn't be as... Do you know what? Let's get into the reasons why I don't enjoy them as much now. Sod it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Crowds cost. Crowds. Certain limited number of people are allowed in terms of pre-sales. But then on the day, inevitably, they open it up to another few thousand people. Making those venues hot and gross and uncomfortable immediately. They don't have aircon. They're not giving out free water or even erecting like water stands or stalls.
See,
that convention centres, they've got the usual like 1 or 2 sandwich shop / bar setups, and that's it. Which will always overcharge like Billy-O. They don't let you bring drink in because it's a security hazard.
Fuck off with that.
You have to buy drink in there. What we tended to do, we used to go down with we call ourselves the Nerd Herd after the sort of the word from Chuck, like the name for the group. It was my friend Adam and his dad Neil. He's a massive con goer. He loves it, so he would be like, right, everyone chuck in a tenner. I'm gonna rent like a 4x4 or a minivan, and we're all gonna go down. And there'd be like 6 of us each time, like some from their family and friends. Me and Lou, or like, or me and my friend Jordan went down like one time, and my friend Danny and stuff. And have a great time and have a laugh. Because you get there, you get in, we'd have a picnic / cooler in the van. So about halfway through the day, at about sort of 1 p.m, we'd meet up at the front area. We'd go out, get stamps on our hands, go downstairs, have a picnic, have a chat about what we've all been up to that morning, and then head back up for another couple of hours. It was a perfect way to do it. Like, there we go. Now you wouldn't be able to do it, because they'd be like, why are you loitering in the car park? It's like, oh, for God's sake.
Thanks.
Because we don't want to spend £4 on a cold churro.
just who wants a cold churro, free or paid?
Who wants a churro? Full stop. But it'd be great because like you'd spare it out. So you go, right, I'm going to give myself £70 spending money. Like £70 is what I'm going to spend, that I'm going to take with me to that day. What's that going to get me? Probably a couple of autographs from not necessarily the headliner, or a couple of photos from not necessarily the headliner, or one for autograph / photo with the headliner.
Yeah.
and I'd buy some sweet stuff, like some sweet merch, comics or a couple toys or whatever, something I could take home and be like, holy shit, I got that from that con, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Now, you're looking at, like, 2015, alright? 2015 was a Back to the Future year. And that's Lucy's favourite movie. Well, actually, no, I think recently it's become Ghostbusters. Nearly every day she's like, oh, I'm in a shit mood. Should we watch Ghostbusters? I'm like, oh my god!
Yes, please.
I'm like, I knew I married you for a reason. So, Back to the Future is one of my favourite movies. In 2015, they had like a bunch of people from Back to the Future doing panel, doing a talk, doing photo shoots. Including Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
To get a photo shoot with those guys, and this isn't necessarily down to the artist, because that argument always comes up when someone who's never done a con before does it, and people go, that's how much they're charging? It's not necessarily down to them. It's down to their management, but it's also primarily down to the show organisers and the company behind the convention, because they pick a certain price so that they can take a certain cut and make a certain profit. Either because it's agreed in the artist contract, or because they're like, oh, well, if we do that, we had a couple more hundred here and there, we'll make a few more grand. Great, we'll do that.
Yes.
Photo shoot with Michael J. Fox was like £65. Now,
shit a brick.
Like, that'd be great in a way, because it's still kind of cool, because he doesn't do UK cons. Like, and it's, it's a big ask of the guy to do it in the first place. Like, he's got Parkinson's, he's mostly an activist and running, charity and stuff nowadays, like, and acting on the side. So to take time out to come over to the UK and do, like, 2 days of a convention, I think he was only doing the Saturday, actually. Do the Saturday, like, that's him. He's got to monitor his medication, he's got to obviously take a certain amount of breaks. And he was on fire in the talks and stuff. Like, I saw footage afterwards, Lucy went to see it live, like, it was great, like, spitting anecdotes, it was amazing. This is really fun. But for those photo shoots, spend £65 to the way that they're done now, because they try and cram as many people in as possible. Spend £65 on that. She sort of got to sort of be with him for about a second and then was immediately ushered out. And he tried his best to be like, hi, nice to meet you. Like, how you doing? Oh, right, okay, bye, thanks for coming. Like, he tried his best to obviously be like that with everybody. But you do kind of feel cheated a little bit from that side of things.
Yeah.
Where you come out and you go, oh, was that it? Was that it? That's really weird. Like, you're not paying to have a freaking sit-down meal with them and a chat. But you at least kind of want to have a moment of eye contact. And if, say, like, it's something you're a big fan of, or you're a really big fan of their work or something, whatever, you really want to just go, hey, I absolutely love you, thank you so much for doing this. Or, hi, how you doing? Like, if you get a bit nervous or whatever, you want to have that just a couple seconds. But the way that they organise it, they're like, right, and you go, okay, thanks very much, out. And the staff kind of get you in and out as soon as possible, depriving you of that very brief moment that kind of makes it a special moment.
And that's got to be exhausting for the guests as well.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, because that's another thing. There's a preset amount of... This is how it used to work. There's a preset amount of spaces to have photos done with the big names. Yeah. And they would say there was like... They're going to do 500 photos. They'd put like 300 up on the website for pre-order. And then on the con day, they'd open up 200 first come, first serve thing. If you go to like the information desk and you book it there. Yeah? So to give people a chance who are there on the day, but like be mindful, you've got to do it at the start of the day and get it done to make sure that it's booked.
Yeah.
Or you pre-order and you make sure you do it like Ticketmaster styling. But what they'll do now is they will let people in, having sold 500 slots, and then on the day they'll open up like another 200 or 300 for that individual. And I'd love to take these actors and stuff aside and be like, were you told? Because obviously they're going to make a certain amount of money as well, additional. But like you said, it's exhausting for them. That's insane. Which is what has led to this being the topic this week. Because one of the guests on Saturday at LFCC just gone was Jenna Coleman, who's an actor who's known for like Victoria and freaking which one of the soaps was she on?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Was she Emmerdale?
Possibly,
I can't remember. But like she's sort of known within our sort of world as Clara from Doctor Who.
She did a voice role in Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii.
Did she?
Yeah.
Was she good?
I have no idea. I don't think I've met her character yet.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe she was that good. You don't know you've met her character.
Played a lot of that game. No idea if I've met her character in it.
I ask, was she good? Because like so many TV actors don't translate to voice acting well.
I mean, the voice acting generally in that game so far has been good. So
you want to go with Doctor Who? Matt Smith is not a good voice actor. Karen Gillan is a good voice actor. So when you play like the DS game and the Wii game and stuff, it's really weird because it's like he's not quite right and she's great, and it's like, this is weird. Yeah, he's a phenomenal actor, so it goes to show different skill sets. Jenna Coleman did a photo shoot on Saturday and Sunday. Jenna Coleman did way more photos than apparently was scheduled. Jenna Coleman is a human being. A human being can only take so much.
Don't I know it,
but Saturday
sunshine.
morning, some folks love to see red complained on Twitter. Specifically one tweet that was mocked to high heaven. I won't say the name because I'm not encouraging people to go and find him and bully him, but basically saying, like, she didn't look me in the eye, she didn't say hi or have a nice day, I feel disgusted that I paid money for this. And there was a noticeable trend in the photos, like people were sort of gently mocking it at first. The photos on Saturday that were being put online of her photo shoot, her first photo shoot of the day, what have you, she looks kind of disinterested. Or like she's not quite there, if that makes any sense. Now, that can be weird, because of course, if originally these shoots, you get to go in with somebody and you have a photo, and you'd have that moment. I remember 2009, I was at the Comic-Con of Milton Keynes. I got a photo with Nathan Fillion. Mm-hmm. We had a chat for 2 minutes. Like, you weren't being rushed along. Obviously, there was like they were keeping to time. They're sort of like, right, come on, we need to get going. Thanks so much. Like the staff were like that, but they weren't going right. Right, off you go. Thanks.
Yep.
Like they take a moment, and if the guest was having a moment, like a bit of convo sparked, they just sort of let them have it. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, if they were getting to a point where like, right, we're going to run over, they said, "Oh, you okay to wrap it up?" I had a lovely little chat with Nathan Fillion. If I remember correctly, we talked about whatever t-shirt I was wearing. He thought it was really cool. I can't remember which t-shirt it was off the top of my head, but he was just like, where'd you get that? And I was like, and I walked away going, holy shit, I just had a little moment with Mal. That makes me really fucking happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and for about a week afterwards, I was beaming. Mm-hmm. And also, it only cost me like 30 quid for this photo, which is like cheap compared to a lot of them now.
Yeah.
But it was like, that's really cool. Like, those moments are enough to sort of, you can have brief ones. Like, I did a photo shoot in 2014 or 2015 with Paul McGann, where they had the 8th Doctor's TARDIS console put up, and people come in. And they were kind of keeping it pacey, but Paul had obviously sort of... He'd taken charge of it over the photographer, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So he was going, let's Da Vinci... Come over here, let's do this pose.
He is the real Paul McGann.
The real Paul McGann. He said, like, let's do this pose. Oh, you stand like this. And I was like, okay, there we go. And he was like, great, thank you so much. And you just sort of shake your hand, take a moment to thank you, and then off you go. Yep. Like, those moments do make it really special. So the fact that that wasn't happening with Jenna and her fans, I can understand why people were irked. I get it. You're kind of like, oh, I've just spent 50 quid and she's not even sort of looked at me. That's weird. Now, that is from the point of view of the commercial exchange of money for a service. In this case, getting a photo and having that moment just to say hi to someone that you maybe admire, someone you like their work or the character, or somebody you absolutely adore. Like, I get it. I get.
If I'm honest,
the complaint.
Something I've always felt a bit weird about.
Well, that's
paying to meet someone. Like,
that's the thing, isn't it? When you're doing the autographs, for example, it feels slightly less weird. Because what you are actually paying for, or at least used to be based on the rates, was the item. The way they did it was you couldn't get your own thing signed. Sometimes they'd waver it a little where it'd be like, you could get your own thing signed for £5, but for £10, you'd take a print and that print would be signed.
Yeah.
So what you're essentially doing is like, you're paying for the print. You're paying more money for a print than you would normally, but you get it because the print you're buying gets you an autograph.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's fine. The photo shoots, I kind of get in a way. Like, I mean, I've done a few over the years. I get in a way, but it's because my earlier memories of the con was more that photo shoot kind of bought you a moment to have a little chat.
Yeah.
Which is nice if it's someone you admire a lot, because you get to go, hey, just so you know, like, I absolutely love such and such a thing that you did. Thank you for that. I really enjoyed it. Like, it was a way to just sort of directly have a moment with somebody you really admired and let them know, or or ask them a quick question or whatever. And the photo was kind of like a souvenir. So I get what you mean. It's kind of it's a bit weird paying to meet them, but at the same time, like, it's a controlled environment where they presumably are in a mindset where they're ready to have that conversation or that moment with you. You're not catching them unawares. You're not this, that, and the other. Through my CBBC work, I've done a few events where I've had signings as part of it, where I've signed autographs and stuff, or taken photos with kids. And I've not taken a cut because it's the BBC. But that's how it works. But I'm more than happy to do it. But it is cool to do it in a controlled environment almost, because you know that you're all cool and you get in your mindset. You're like, right, people are coming here to say hello and get an autograph and ask a question or whatever. I'm there for that. I'm switched on. Boom. Let's do this. I'm gonna try and make everybody who has a quick chat with me leave feeling really happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that instance, and that's because there's no money exchange. So that's the kick I get out of it. Because I want to make everyone make sure they have a nice time.
I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah, exactly. But when you are getting paid, there's almost an unwritten, even further obligation of maybe make it worth the while the people who've paid. Now, that being said, I go back to my original point. Jenna is a human being. If a human being is having a shitty day, a really shitty day, it's tough to put that off. It's tough to disguise that. Maybe just before the shoot started, just before it started, a showmasters organiser was like, right, so we said it was 200, it's actually going to be 500 in this morning? Okay, go.
That's fucking rough.
Yeah. Now, counter-argument. Some people are going to be thinking it. She's a performer, she's an actor, surely she can pretend. Yeah, she can. But again, human. Not on a stage. She's not at work, per se. It's like a...
It's a weird thing, isn't it? Because it's not...
There's a level of performance that I think makes it more enjoyable for the participant and the guests.
And I think this is why it's always struck me as slightly odd, is because they're not getting paid to perform. You're not paying someone to perform, you're kind of paying them to be themselves, but then you're also paying them to do a performative version of themselves. It's why the whole meet and greet thing has just never really been my bag.
I get it. Is your preferred idea, say, sort of a writer or whatever, going to a signing, asking, I'll make it out to whatever, and you just talk to him for a moment?
Yeah, kind of.
Absolutely friggin' love the last one, can't wait to read this one, thanks very much. Because part of the thing for me, part of the appeal of it for me when I first started going was the thought of being able to just sort of have that mo to tell somebody I really admired that I admired their stuff. Because, we are, for lack of a less wanky term, we're artists. It's cool when you find out someone really likes what you're doing.
Yeah.
You sort of go, oh my god, that's great, thank you so much. And it's not a vanity thing. I don't think we'd do a convention to go along and be like, shower us with praise. But it's just nice to get that direct feedback in a way that you don't get through analytics or through audience survey. It's nice to get feedback directly from someone saying,
I'm only human, I like my ego being stroked.
Yeah, well, last year at Warp, a few people came up to speak to me. I was there with the Five Who fans. We were just titting around. People came up to speak to me, and at least 3 of them were like, I listened to Big Damn Cast, by the way. I absolutely love it. And I was like, oh shit. And I got a rush that I'd never felt before, because I'd never really bumped into someone out in the world who took a moment to say, I love your podcast.
I've never bumped into a listener out in the world. But that's because I make
cocoons and hide in them.
I make efforts to not bump into anyone out in the world.
You walk around in a bubble, like the prisoner.
I don't actually look like it. He doesn't walk around.
That was a timely reference for our young audience.
Listen, he gets chased by a bubble.
Yeah, there you go. You've probably seen it parodied in
Simpsons,
weather balloon.
And
Family Guy.
Is the best one. Yeah, that's a good one.
This is the original Prisoner, not the Jim Caviezel
remember when they rebooted
remake.
The Prisoner with Jim Caviezel and Ian McKellen?
And it was an ITV series. I think there was 2 seasons, wasn't there?
No, I nearly did 1.
Did they just do the 1? I had a feeling they'd snuck out a second for some reason.
Fucking rubbish.
It wasn't great.
He only did 1 season. The original Prisoner got 17 episodes.
And maybe that's why. 1 and done. Drop the mic.
I think Patrick McGowan wanted to do less. I think he was pioneering that whole idea of a self-contained miniseries that is so common now. Was what he wanted to do with The Prisoner in the late 60s.
They're like, no, make some more. And he was like, do I have to? Do I have to make that many?
Do I have to?
Leave me alone, damn it. I just sounded like the freaking guy from It's a Wonderful Life. I want to live again!
Did I ever tell you the story about... So, there's a song on Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast album called The Prisoner.
Yeah.
And it opens with a bit from the start of the Prisoner episodes. I'm not a number, I'm a film. It opens with that.
Yeah.
Because they had to call Patrick McGowan to get the rights for it.
Yeah.
Permission. So Rod Smallwood, the I Made Magic, calls him up as the convert explains it. The way he tells it is that Patrick McGowan's on the other end of the phone. He's like, a rock band, you say? Yes. Okay, do it. Puts the phone down.
It's like, the next question was going to be like, how much of a cut does he want, or like what pay? No, I guess we just do it.
Okay, do it. And then, also they asked Frank Herbert. They wrote a song based on June.
Yes, yeah.
For the next album, they asked Frank Herbert if they could call it June, and he was like, "Fuck you, I hate heavy metal bands."
It was like, oh,
and it's like, all right, then.
I guess we'll just call it Enud.
It ended up being called To Tame a Land.
Oh, for fair enough. What? To Tame a Land? For fair enough.
Yeah, but that was a digression. Patrick McGowan, The Prisoner.
I'm a fan.
Bubbles. What the fuck were we talking about?
Jenna Coleman.
So,
I get why people would be upset. I completely disagree with that specific reaction that has been mocked and referenced by everybody, though. Because it's like, screw you. Now, the thing is, it got debates and arguments and all sorts of stuff going on online.
Wait, you saying people got into arguments on Twitter over a woman and a behaviour?
Over a what?
Over a woman and a behaviour, perceived or otherwise. Now,
I think part of the big reaction comes from the fact that Clara is a very polarizing character. Like, we are not remotely shy about complaining about that character on this podcast. We've complained about that character a lot on this podcast.
I think it's a little presumptuous to call Clara a character.
Hey! But, like, you know, I get it. Like, weird stuff happened. A friend of mine made a joke about a cardboard cutout of Clara that's smiling, and he posted a photo of him next to the cardboard cutout, and he said, "There, she's smiling, it didn't cost me a penny." And it was very clear that his joke was coming more from the point of view of mocking the people who apparently just wanted her to smile.
I spent X number of pounds to meet this woman I don't know, and she didn't smile.
His joke was coming from that angle, and so many people misinterpreted it as like, she doesn't owe you anything. He's like, no, you don't get it. I didn't get a photo with her. Like, why are you having to go?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm taking the piss out of the people who are complaining about the.
But also,
oh my god! There was so much unnecessary.
But that is the thing. It's like, she doesn't owe you anything. That's why I don't like this transactional nature of meet and greets.
Precisamente. But it just opened up this chasm of nonsense. To make matters worse, and I don't think I've mentioned this to you yet. And I think I gave you the basics, but I didn't tell you what the quotes were. To make matters worse, it apparently, and this is all alleged, like, we don't know exactly, I wasn't there, I'm going off of what's been going on online. But apparently, it happened because earlier in the day, a fan made some heavily suggestive sexual comments towards her. Like, to her face. And that, understandably, would make her feel very uncomfortable. Like, Jenna Coleman has apparently talked in interviews about having anxiety. So, it's entirely plausible that she is able to do these photo shoots and everything and get through it quite easily and comfortably if she's in the right frame of mind to do it. But imagine if you, dear listener, psyched yourself up to do something like, you know, really, really big. Like, say you were about to talk to the class, right? Do a speech in front of a class. And it's not your thing and you get nervous, but you chat with everybody for a little bit before it starts. Everyone's really nice. You get on okay, and in your head you're like, do you know what? Okay, I think I can do this. Like, I feel comfortable with these people. I'm going to do it. And then just before you got up, like, an ex who you had a bitter breakup with just walked into the room and sat in the front row. Suddenly, you'd be like, oh, I feel a bit weird now. I feel really uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck. Like, that frame of mind, that pumped up place you got yourself to, is gone.
It only takes a little thing. You know, as someone who deals with anxiety on a fairly regular basis, on an essentially daily basis when I'm at my shitty day job,
I live 2 more weeks.
Yes.
Then you can be like me and have social anxiety at home.
Whee! The roller coaster never ends. But even with you know the amount of medication and the therapy I've had and stuff, and you know, and I might imagine Jenna Coleman, not Jenna Louise Coleman, doesn't go by that anymore.
Unless you're retro.
Yeah, unless you're very retro. I imagine she's had the same sort of. Had the same sort of coping mechanisms and things like that. But like it does not take much to knock you off your game.
Oh god, no.
Even if you get to a really good place, all it takes is one little.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, one little slip up, and all the spinning plates just fall down.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to pull yourself back up from that. And if you don't have them, those moments to just like rest.
Oh God, like that might have been all she needed. Just
take a minute.
Can I have 5 minutes and just take 5 minutes to sort of gather herself a bit and go back in? But based on how these things go, let's add another 200, 300 people last minute. Like, probably not an option. Probably ridiculous. Breaching contract. Probably, because we don't know what the contracts are like. Which is why I'd love to talk to somebody who refuses to go to these cons now. I'd love to talk to a guest who has just downright gone, I'm never going to their cons again. Because I'd love to know what the contracts are like. Like how tight they must be.
I'm going to take
for these artists to go like, okay, like I'm gonna have to go with this extra.
I'm going to take a little
200,
Google dive
shoots.
while we're talking and see if I can find any.
Have a little gandy. Because a common contract that I am aware of is that an artist, for example, say one coming from the States, like someone who's making the travel, their agency might turn around to Showmasters, for example, and say, right, my client will do this for a buyout fee of like $20,000. Yeah? So what? Like £18,000. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And not to be sniffed at all for 2 days' work. Like, not to be sniffed at. And 9 times out of 10 they'll say, and you guys have got to pay for the travel to and from there and accommodation. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're looking at like 19 grand of minimum that the convention has promised to make for that guest. Yeah? So to do that, regardless of how the sales go, Showmasters have to pay that guest 19 grand. The way they make that money is by cranking the rent up on the stores, which is another reason why I stopped going, because those stores, the comic book shops, the memorabilia shops, the craft shops, the artists, over time, so many of them stopped going because they couldn't afford the table space.
Yeah.
Based on the venue, I think they've lowered it a little bit now, made it a bit more accessible, but also they've got multiple floors now, so that might be part of it too. But like, it was getting expensive to do that, but they'll hike those prices up because then that'll go back into their money pot to help pay for the guests. Now, say you've got someone from Game of Thrones. Let's say, for sake of argument's sake, say you've got Amelia Clarke. Amelia Clarke is based in the UK. I think she might be based in the States. No, she's based in the UK still, isn't she? She's based in the UK, and she might say, right, I'll do it for 15 grand.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do Saturday and Sunday, and I want a minimum of 15 grand for my trouble. Or her agent says it, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, they've got to make 15 grand. Now, what is 15,000 divided by 2? That'd be 7,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they were to guarantee 7,500 things, photo shoot or autograph being sold at £2 each, obviously, then that would be the cover for her. So they obviously don't do it like that. It's like lesser. So everything for her is like 30 quid, 40 quid, 50 quid minimum. And they'll sell a requisite number to get to a minimum of 19 grand. Did we say 19 grand?
Mm.
Yeah, fuck it. So 19.
Yeah, you said 19.
No, it's 15. We're having a moment. 19 was from the previous example.
Yeah.
So they get it to the equivalent of 15 grand, right? But then Showmasters don't make a profit. If they want to make a profit, they want to get it to say like, I don't know, 20 grand, for example. So they need an additional 5 grand on what she's going to make from her stuff. That will cover the cost of her stall and arrangement and presumably like some of the staff that are looking after her, and also then go back into their kitty. So they will sell the requisite amount to make 20 grand from her alone. 15 of which will go to Amelia Clarke, 5 grand to themselves. But why stop at 5 grand profit? We can add like a few hundred more in. Make 6-7 grand. Do you know what? We'll add like 500 more in. Okay, we'll do it. So the artist, presumably, unless they've put a minimal cap of stuff they're going to do in their contract, they have to go along with it because they're getting what they've agreed to. Yeah. And as long as they're making that amount of money, then that's their only contractual obligation that they have to fulfill. That they have to receive. That's the only thing they're going to receive that they asked for, and they've got it, and it's great. all a money game, which is why the exchange of money has overtaken the actual joy of fandom that comes from conventions initially.
Yeah.
The idea of meeting people you like and all going to panels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, would you find it less weird if, say, like, pick a show that you love?
What kind of show?
Any show. Convention show or non-convention show, it doesn't matter, really. You could say Corrie for all I care.
Oh, right, like a TV show. TV show. X-Files.
Right, okay, so, David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Now, if they did a thing where it was like, if you paid 70 quid...
Yeah.
And
That's cheap by Showmaster standards.
I know, but this is the hypothetical.
Yeah.
If it was 70 quid, and what you got for that 70 quid was, you got a photo shoot with them both, you got a signed item from them both, and you were one of like 300 people who would be able to attend a panel for them for that weekend. That's a pretty cool price for that, right? Like, you're kind of getting a mix of things. Like, you're getting a cool little pic with the two of them, so you'd be like, oh shit, I got a photo of Mulder and Scully. You got their autograph, and you got to watch like a 45-minute panel and maybe ask a question yourself or whatever and stuff. Like, that is at least kind of an experience, isn't it? There's more to it than just paying to have a photo with them and stuff. Like, there's more going on. That kind of thing is impossible now. The minimum charge, if that existed, Showmasters or the similar companies would charge like upwards of 200 quid for just the panel and a photo. Yeah. Like, that's where we're at now. So, I completely understand why Jenna would let something get to her. She is a human being. Does it suck for the fans who had photos afterwards who now to this day have a photo where either they're like, oh, she seems sad, and because it could just be a human empathy thing. They're like, oh, it was weird. Like, in this photo she seems really sad, and she didn't really say anything. I hope she's okay. Which does kind of almost taint the memory of that meeting, especially if it's a really big deal to meet her for that individual. But I'd rather them feel like that and have empathy than act like a twat like some people did. Yeah. And make a big complaint. I also want to take this moment to say, all the people on Twitter who are Jenna Coleman quote-unquote stans or Clara stans, who attacked anyone who had an opinion on it regardless of where it was, get a life. Anyway, you might have a life. You might have a life, and I don't know about your personal story.
Do you though?
But seriously, calm the fuck down. Calm the fuck down. Your white knighting for her is not going to get you a seat at her freaking, like, breakfast bar having a coffee with her in the morning. It's not going to happen. It's great that you're standing up for her, but don't stand up for her by just attacking anyone who's mentioned her. Never mind whatever they're saying. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Calm the fuck down. Fandom sucks. I say that as a co-host of a pop culture podcast about genre fiction.
We are the
fandom
worst.
Sucks. And it got me to thinking, young man. Yeah. What are people's worst convention memories? Because holy shite, like, I've had some bad times, and I'm sure others have.
Bad times at the LFCC.
Indeedy too. So I reached out to Twitter through our big damn Twitter.
The big damn Twitter.
The big Tony Danza at Big Damn Cast on Twitter. Yeah. And I asked some lovely folk, and I was like, right, what bad experiences have you had? Friend of the show, Basil. Basil is amazing, and I'm just going to plug Basil's artwork right now, okay? If you want some really cool, lovely artwork, I'm going to do it. If you want some really cool artwork, look up Fop Doodles Art. That's F-O-P Doodles, D-O-O-D-L-E-S, art on Twitter, right? He's amazing. If you were at LFCC this past weekend and saw a ridiculously convincing-looking Aziraphale, that was Basil. There's probably quite a few, but Basil's was on point. Yeah. So...
The Good Omens cosplay from Basil on Twitter since the show aired has been super strong.
Basil and his fella dressed as Crowley. Holy shit, they looked amazing.
Amazing stuff.
Check them
out,
guys.
Always a Twitter feed highlight.
But Basil said, at my first ever... This was me saying, like, what bad convention experiences people had. Basil's an artist. That's why I've plugged the Twitter, because I want you to go see it and buy some stuff. I've got a drawing somewhere. I think it might still be on the fridge. The fridge is covered in stuff at the minute. Yes. Of Dennis the Menace, because I did Dennis for that show, with Hacker the Dog, that Basil drew, which was amazing. And also, he did a print of Peter Capaldi, which Lucy bought, and it's amazing. As the 12th Doctor, not just like Peter Capaldi having a shit or something. But I'm sure if you commissioned that. Basil says, At my first ever event selling art, I was nervous and dealing with imposter syndrome, and a mother came up to my stall with her kid and loudly said, "You could do better than this," and walked away.
Nice.
So think about that. Someone's taking the time to bring their artwork to sell, which is already kind of a daunting thing. Like you were saying, like he's feeling imposter syndrome a bit. Like, don't. You're amazing. But, like, that's already daunting enough. And to set up a stall and be like, I hope people like it. For a mum to just come up with their kid and just say something like that, shitty. Shitty attitude. Again, they're a human. Maybe the mum was having a horrible day, but that mum was a twat.
Sounds like everyone was having a horrible day. Fucking.
Then
LFCC.
a bloke came and took photos of my art because he, quote, liked it but didn't want to pay, unquote.
Classy.
Fucking hell.
Fucking classy.
Oh, God. Lance Patterson. Hello, Lance. Lance says, I've just done my very first con, which based on the photos were LFCC. Other than one shirty stallholder / artist, all good for me, met many lovely folks, but felt sorry for the VIPs, crowded into the most restricted area of Olympia London, which was hot enough to melt a Dalek. Was quite worried about Ian McDiarmid.
He wasn't there. He was just generally worried about him.
No, the idea that everyone was like, oh my god, that Emperor cosplay is amazing. Oh no, it's just Ian McDiarmid sweating his balls off and shriveling into a walnut.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's what I'm saying, like they cram so many things in now to try and like make as much money as possible that even the big guests and stuff like will end up in areas where there's like no room to breathe. It's insane. They took some photos. They took some photos of the con floor. Like that's not too crowded. That looks like to the lobby. There's some spaces.
Okay, yeah.
But that, as everyone bottlenecks into the stalls.
It's the bottleneck, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the fact that there's just... It's there not being enough space around the areas that they reckon are going to be busy.
It's nuts.
And also things like, we've sold this many places, but also now we're going to add another X number of people. It doesn't sit right with me.
By sheer wonderful coincidence, one of the photos they posted is of Basil.
Yay!
Selling artwork. Fop Doodles art. Twitter, everybody. Go check it out.
Very good, very good, very good.
And then Burn It. Burn 5 It. Burn 5 It?
Burn it all down.
Who appears to be a relatively new tweet here.
Do it.
Has put... when I went to MCM Comic-Con for the first time, my wallet got stolen. I vividly remember losing it at a specific stall where, standing next to me, there was a guy cosplaying as Altair from Assassin's Creed. I still suspect that I got robbed by Altair. Like, I know obviously you can look back at it and laugh, as we kind of did when we first read that tweet. It was like, that's quite funny. But it's not funny in the moment at all. But it is kind of humorous to think that an assassin nicked your wallet.
Thing.
Like, at least they licked your wallet and didn't stab you with a hidden blade concealed within their medieval garb.
Yeah, that's...
And at least you could have been robbed by Ezio. That would have been classier. No, that is shitty, and I'm really sorry that happened to you, man. But, yeah, I mean, even that stuff, like, over the years, people, again, stories trade online and stuff after the cons, people saying that, like, people have been pinching stuff from the stalls, pinching stuff from other people.
Yeah.
You're like, that's gross. How can that happen? Well, it's very easy to do when the place is overcrowded to buggery.
Yeah.
Because not everyone can keep an eye on everyone. Whereas when it's slightly more, mediated and stuff, like it used to be, moderated even, you can see people. You can see folks, and, it's just... I'm here today to talk about Sprint. Like... that's the only thing that could improve conventions nowadays, is if Mark Hamill did a presentation on Sprint. And then at the end, like, I thought your leg was damaged. Oh, you see, the thing about that is... It's still my favourite running away noise anyone's ever made. Mark Hamill and The Simpsons. The reason why I wanted to highlight all those shitty moments and stuff is, in case there is anyone listening who has also had those kind of moments in conventions,
yeah,
you're not alone. It does suck. Can things change? Maybe. I hear less horror stories about the MCM events in Manchester than I do about the Showmasters events in London.
Who runs LSCC?
I think LSCC might be the same as MCM, actually. It's confusing because it's LSCC, LSCC, but I might be wrong. Then again, the difference is LSCC tends to have less film and TV connections.
And it's more straight comic
anime,
books.
manga, comic books, animation.
Which also means there's less money in it. There's not as much charging for autographs. Most of the money people spend at that on meeting people is sketch commissions from artists.
Yeah.
Artists alley.
Oh Christ! When I went with you and Charlie, like that first time I went to one, it was great because basically we rocked up. We got some free samples. We bought some like discounted first issues of stuff like to try out.
Yeah.
I think that was the one where I bought like Twisted Dark Volumes 1 and 2.
Yeah, I got Twisted Dark Volume 1 stuff.
Which I really, really like. Like, it's basically a Twilight Zone comic. It's great.
It's good.
And in fact, I enjoyed that so much. The next time I went to a con, the same store was there, and they had a new edition called Twisted Light. So I bought that. So I was like, yeah, I want to buy another book by you guys.
Twisted Light, I should do that.
That's the stuff I enjoy. That's stuff I like. Showmasters have a history of their website, their forums, ignoring or sometimes deleting threads that are complaint threads.
Yeah, I've been searching the last 10 minutes or so for like any stories of people who refuse to work with Showmasters or any people who've had bad experience with them and just not been able to find anything.
It's an odd one. It's an odd one.
We've not even been able to find like people complaining about them.
Yeah.
Although I have seen an increase in prices. So for comparison, in prices, most so back in 2004, which I think was the first year that Showmasters pre-announced autograph prices.
Yeah.
Your autographs were all 15 or 20 quid.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Last year, Christopher Eccleston was charging 85 and 95.
Yeah. Well, let me reiterate. Showmasters was charging 85, 95.
And then Matt
for
Smith
Christopher
was
Eccleston autographs.
75, 85.
Yeah.
So
autographs.
In
fucking autographs.
No, these are photos, sorry. These are photos.
Even worse. Like, especially because, and I'll say it again, you won't even get that 2-3 seconds minimum to say hi. Unless they sort of take charge and do it.
It's
been really nice to see Chris Eccleston like embrace fandom through his 2 con appearances now.
Yeah,
though.
I feel like he was
that's really cool.
Hesitant.
Yeah, like he appreciated the show and he's proud of what he did. And contrary to popular belief, if you asked him about it, he would happily chat about it. But he was never like one to dive into the world of fandom. And then he's done 2 LFCCs now, and at both of them there's lovely stories. Like, there's one from this year. An artist did a portrait of him, of the Ninth Doctor. They were doing like various Doctor Who pieces.
Yeah.
And they did one for Colin. They gave it to Colin, got a lovely photo from Colin. They did one for Sylve and got a lovely photo of Sylve, like being like, "Oh my god, this is amazing, thank you." They couldn't get to Chris, so they asked a staff member to possibly take it to him. And a couple of hours later, Chris came out to find them and got a photo with them to thank them for the art piece because he was so touched. And it's like, oh my god, dude. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And this is one of those cases where the Earth didn't turn around and shit on me.
I hope it does, though.
Oh, me too. I hope it turns around and shits on all of us.
Shits all over you. I think... So I think my first convention, right?
My first lady.
I think it was... If I remember, I have very vague memories of it.
You were very drunk. And 9.
I was very young.
Yeah.
But it was a Doctor Who. It was a Doctor Who Christmas party. Was how it was marketed.
Oh, okay.
And it was down. I think it was down at Thameside Studios. It was in London.
Yeah.
And it was back in the days when Gary Gillett was still editing DWM.
Okay. Oh right. Yes.
So I must have been quite young.
Late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yeah. Tiny Matthew.
Tiny
Matthew.
And I remember vividly that they were doing a special effects reel, and this is back in the days when some of the Doctor Who stuff still scared the shit out of me. Yeah. That's how young I was. And there was nothing scary, but I got freaked out that something scary was going to come, that I leapt out of my seat and over the front row.
Jesus.
And ran out, and then just hid behind the railings at the side of the seating. I think I vaulted over Sophie Eldred's head.
She demands that happen now. She enjoyed it so much that she demanded that at every event someone else to vault.
I wish I
over
could
her
remember
head.
more of it because I've got photos and autographs from it, but I don't really remember it because I was young.
Who do the documents tell us that you met?
Sophie Aldred.
Yeah, lovely.
Nicholas
Sophie.
Courtney.
Oh my! Oh,
Nicholas
that makes
Courtney.
me. We're like neck deep into the Doctor in our marathon, and like the thought of meeting Nick Courtney would have been amazing.
Sarah Sutton.
Oh, bless her.
I can't remember. Who
Sorry,
else was
Nissa.
there. I've got a terrible. There's a couple
Terrence?
more. Mike Tucker.
Was Terrence there?
So, no, if Terrence was there,
Dix or Malloy? Teddy Malloy.
Yeah, no, Mike Tucker was there, and this was just before. This was before the BBC books had come along, so this is when he was still known as the special effects guy.
Yeah.
And he'd also done a lot of work on Red Dwarf at that point as well.
Of course, he all the model shots for the ships and things like that.
Yeah. It was before he'd started writing, really. Or published it, and then a few years later, might have been even as little as 1 or 2 years later, went to the opening of the exhibition at Llangollen.
Yeah, the toy factory.
In what used to be the Dapple factory.
Yeah.
And met JNT, Sylvester McCoy, Colin Baker. Who else was there?
Bonnie Langford.
I don't think Bonnie Langford was there.
So. She was busy tapping on some treading some boards somewhere.
And then for a few years it became like an annual pilgrimage to go to the Llangollen exhibition.
I went once and I had very fond memories because they had like a ridiculously cool Hall of Monsters. Yeah, there was 2 corridors worth, wasn't there?
And a lot of that stuff,
that living room diagram set up, the diorama and stuff. Yeah,
and a lot of that stuff ended up at Blackpool.
It did, yes. The living room moved, because I remember that was a part of a couple of the exhibits, and
a lot of the monster props.
Yeah, and there was that sort of corridor that was like the roundels, and it had pictures of each of the Doctors in every other roundel. And I remember it was hilarious because it was just like there were all these sort of very old shots, and then there was just this brand spanking newish Paul McGann shot. It was like, ooh,
no, this would have been
pre-McGann.
This would have been 97 because it was when
just after McGann.
Because it was around the same time that the TV movie got its VHS release.
Holy shit!
So the Christmas Pie one must have been before that.
Oh my god!
Because that was pre-TV movie.
Yeah. Oh
because in the gift shop at the Llangollen one, they had the big cardboard TARDIS POS standee for the VHS of the TV movie.
God.
And that's where we bought our VHS copy of the TV movie.
Too right. What was the cover for the VHS?
It was Paul McGann sort of like in blue lighting in front of the TARDIS with a candle stick holder and the key.
Which is hilarious because that's got nothing to do with anything
not in the film.
Yeah.
No.
In the same shoot where they did got the photo of Sylvester with handing the key into Paul's hand, and neither of them are looking at each other, and it's like, this is weird.
This is slightly odd. But it's and it was a silver VHS case as well. I'll see if I can find the artwork for you because it was. But yeah, that must have been. But I've not been much of a con guy. I think
I think probably because you got spoiled when you were a kid.
Those
were the most perfect years to
after
go.
That first Doctor Who one, the next time I went to a con was in 2001, when I went to my first and to this day only Transformers con, and that was Transforce in Kent.
How frequent are they then?
There's Transformers cons every year.
God damn!
But there's different ones.
Sorry, Hot Rod.
And they've some Transforce only lasted like 7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now at the moment it's TF Nation is the UK one that everyone goes to.
Maybe
I was thinking about going this year, but Transforce is
probably still out there.
Not as far as I'm aware.
No,
I think it's sort of morphed into.
No, it might be. It's just disguised, so you can't find it.
I hate you so much. I think it morphed into Auto Assembly, and then Auto Assembly morphed into TF Nation.
Okay.
But and then after that I went to the first, not the first. I went to an MCM Comic Con in Manchester, and then I went to I went to the first 2 London Super Comic Cons. But I've never been.
Was the LSCC we went to the first one?
That was the first LSCC. Yeah.
Damn. I remember the queue that morning was huge.
It's
like we were in a queue for a a good hour just stood in the corridors of because we sort of took it in turns to like go to the toilet or whatever. One of the three of us would just mooch for a bit.
Save my place in the queue.
And make a thing of make that very British thing of making a point of I'm currently in this spot with my friends.
Yeah.
I'm not queue hopping when I come back. I'm getting back to this spot. Must be loud so everyone knows I'm already here, so they're not annoyed when I come back and rejoin.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. God, yeah.
Yeah,
that was a good con, if I recall.
That was the VHS
Crystal
cover.
interviewed us at that con, do you remember?
Yeah, but
She was
doing a fandom documentary.
She was doing a fandom documentary. She interviewed us at that convention. Yeah, oh my god. Holy shit.
That would have been
2011 then, yeah. Yes, I've seen it. With the ominous 12 certificate on the front.
No,
better than the freaking first DVD cover. Do you remember the DVD cover? It's just like the master sort of like doing this, and it's a blue version.
Yeah. No, I've still got that.
I've
still got that DVD.
I got it in revisitation. I had that version, then I gave it to oh god, do you remember Techie Cat from I think I gave it to her. Because I got the Revisitations box set, and that's got the 2-disc special edition in it. And on the cover of that version, it's fucking, 8th Doctor in the middle, Grace to one side, the Master to the other. Yeah. That makes more sense.
I really, really wish that they had done reversible DVD covers with the original VHS art.
That would be cute.
Because those Andrew Skilleter VHS...
They'd have to have done a consistent DVD cover.
Oh yeah, because they changed it. Also, they changed the VHS covers after a while.
Oh god, it's like the Virgin New Adventures and everything.
Yeah,
they just eventually
they removed it was the diamond logo originally.
Yeah.
I don't even know originally because the Earthshock was the first one. How the fuck did we get onto Doctor Who VHS? Oh god!
Conventions! Happy convention memories!
Yeah, the original Earthshock.
That Welsh exhibit, the Corridor of Monsters, is that the one that just had the fucking Mara in a case?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that
but they
at
also
the age of 9 or whatever and going, that's terrifying.
Because a lot of it got...
Because it's such a big prop.
Well, a lot of it got shifted over from Longleat after the fire. And some stuff got lost in the fire, like the Visitation pterodactyl android.
Okay.
Only a little bit of it survived, and it's a shame because it's such a beautiful prop. I remember the
costumes and they're being kept really well. Because didn't you enter the Hall of Monsters part of the exhibit through a TARDIS? There was like a TARDIS facade, and you opened the door, and that was the door into that.
There was
part
definitely
of the
a transition with that in it, but I don't remember what part it was.
Because that was the first time I'd ever seen a get in a Dalek sort of thing. Yeah. Where they have like a half Dalek and
they had that,
which they then carried into the Doctor Who exhibits and Doctor Who experience, things like that later on.
There was a version of that also the first time I experienced
you're facing mirrors so you could just see the mirrors through the thing and you can see yourself moving. Yeah.
The first time I experienced that was at Museum of the Moving Image in London.
Oh yes, of course.
I don't know if they still have it, but they used to have a little Doctor Who section there with a K9.
That museum's gone now, isn't it? Is that the one that was on the
that's where the Shard of VHS
South Bank and everything.
Lincoln narration was shot with Tom Baker. Was it the Museum of the Moving Image exhibit?
Is that the one near Sea Life? Or was?
I'm not sure.
Because I know that because that's the film museum or whatever it's called in recent years. That closed down, moved, and the last time I saw of it was near a Covent Garden now in a smaller building. Yeah. And it was primarily a James Bond exhibit.
Oh, that's a shame.
Which sucks because it had James Bond in it prior to that, but it also had the Alien Queen just stood at full size in the middle of a hallway, which was fucking terrifying even to 22-year-old.
A lot of the stuff that was relocated from the Museum of the Moving Image was at Llangollen.
Yeah,
because the Raston Warrior robot that's in the Sharda Lincoln narration was at Llangollen.
Fuck, I keep forgetting the Raston.
And not the Raston. Gundam, the Gundam robot.
Gundam
that had the axe from King's Thieves, and it was.
Okay, I was going to say, surely the Raston would be less difficult to recreate.
No, there's no Raston.
Bring me a silver morph suit.
There's no Raston. I get my warrior robots mixed up.
Bring me a silver morph suit and pose it like a ballerina that's just leapt off the ground.
Yeah, I could go for a con again. I do want to do TF Nation at some point when I've got some actual disposable income that I can use to buy robots.
Well, it'd be nice to go to one of the smaller ones and just buy some stuff.
Are they doing Vorp again?
Vorp is coming again, but I'll be honest, I didn't love my experience with it last time. I think it was pretty cool in a way. For your coverage, you could go to lot of the panels and stuff. But I think just because of where it was within the Primworks, it was just kind of hard to really do much. Do you know what I mean? Like the one bit of merch I took away from that day was a Pennywise toy, because one of the stalls there had some NECA stuff and it had been imported like a month before its UK release. And I was like, yeah, I want to buy that. Like, it was fine. I kind of admired what they went for, and I hope that it gets better, because I know they've done one since. They did like the first Doctor themed one that got delayed a bit and then happened, and they've got another one coming up later this year. I don't know. I'm toying with it. I could
do both.
But I next time there's one on at I keep wanting to call it the G-Mex. It's not called that anymore, is it? It's not been called that for a while. Yeah, it's called what it used to be.
Manchester Central Convention Complex.
Yeah, it was Manchester Central train station. Then it became the G-Mex event centre, and now it's the Manchester Central Convention Complex.
And the last thing I went to there was the Manchester Ale and Cider Festival. And I staggered out. It was great.
I am in Manchester. I don't have to drive back from London. This is great.
Fantastic.
Like, the next time there's a con there, I might give it a go regardless. Just why not? Let's dip in and browse the stalls, because there is good stuff to come out of conventions.
My friends go with their kids, so they went this year and got Michael Rooker's autograph.
They get more of a mix from that in a way, I suppose, don't they? Because even if they're having a shit time, they can live it through their kids a bit and see them having a good time.
Their kids are 7 and 10.
Oh, perfect age to meet Yondu. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, a friend of mine, Jenny, made a very good point to me a few years ago when I said, like, I don't think I'm going to do the cons anymore because of the way Showmasters ran this one and this, that and the other. She made a very good point. She said, like, the stresses you can go through, sometimes all of that it pales in comparison to some people to meet, even for a moment, somebody who, like, maybe they just admire a lot, maybe they've had as long as they're polite and not weird about it, maybe they've had a crush on since they were younger, and it's just sort of really cool to be like, oh my god, I had a photo with them. That's really cool. It's like, and she said, she made a good point. She was like these books and these shows and these films can save people's lives sometimes, and for someone, the chance to get to meet that author or that actor or whatnot, even for just a moment, might mean the world to them.
Yeah,
and that's the main take.
About really,
that is ultimately what it's about. It's unfortunately soured by the money side of it, the organisation and everything.
Money spoils everything. Let's smash capitalism.
Yeah, with a big stick.
Smash the patriarchy.
Let me just see how much the big sticks cost on
Amazon. Oh
yeah. No, it's too expensive. No, do you know what? Let's just have a coffee instead.
Let's buy overpriced coffee.
Let's buy over. Oh damn it! Okay. Let's get water.
Nope.
It's bottled.
According to Nestle, water is not a human right.
Oh fuck you, Nestle.
Yay!
But anyway, if you've had a lovely con experience, do let us know, because we would like to hear about it for next week.
You're a liar!
Chinwag. Because I've had some lovely con. I have had some lovely con experiences that are genuinely really cool.
There are lots of smaller cons about, but they're basically just glorified car boot sales.
I don't mind that as long as I'm having a good time.
Glorified dealerships.
God, yeah, you get those ones that are like... a lot of them have started up in the Northwest lately as well. They're at like boulders and centres like that, where it's still cool, but it is mostly like car boot sales or independent comical collectors or music shops setting up stalls.
I feel like...
And they have like dioramas set up and stuff. And they sort of charge a small price to get a photo. I remember there was one up in Bowlers, wasn't it, where it was like the canteen. They remade the
canteen.
No, they
did a ladies.
No. They
ladies convention.
That'd be amazing. No, they'd remade the Mos Eisley Cantina. And,
yeah.
And for like it was something like for a $5, you could get a photo sat in Greedo's booth. So like you and someone else were given pistols, and you could have a photo sat with each other.
And for £20, you could go to the little alien who had that little penis thing on his chin, and you could just
jerk it a little.
Just
give it a little jerk.
Just give it a little tickle with your finger like he does in the film.
Do it between your fingers.
Yeah.
You're paying £20.
Yeah.
But it was like for a $5 you could get a photo in Greedo's booth. They'd give you like one of your hands blaster and a replica of Greedo's blaster. It's like, that's kind of cool. And there was the whole thing of it was like £2 of this is going to charity. £2 of every £5 is going to charity. And like, here's the charity that's going to. It's like,
it's me.
That. But it's like
I'm the charity.
But it's like, that's cool. Like, that is straight up brilliant. That's cool. Really nice. Like, they're making a profit and they're making money for a good cause. And you get those moments where something is, like, really lovely. One of my fondest con memories ever is first MCM. It wasn't MCM though, it was called something else, but the first one I went to.
Yeah. I think the first one that was called MCM was the first one I went to in 2010.
Yeah. So this would have been 2008. No, 2006, 2007 maybe. No, 2005. It was 2005. And it was called Collectomania. Was what it was called before then, which I think was MCM. It's the same company as MCM.
I think still, yeah.
Collectomania I've seen used, but way less. Like they don't use that name as much. So
it's what pays Jeremy Bullock's mortgage,
pretty much,
because he's at every single one.
But Jeremy,
I was Boba Fett.
But Jeremy,
were you though?
But Jeremy,
no one would ever know.
Jeremy, you don't understand. Your bank account, like, no one's checked back or answered any of the responses from Halifax for a while. It's been locked. It's practically dead. It's no good to me dead. I don't get it. That's what I said in the film. It doesn't sound like that, though. Yes, it does. But it doesn't, Jeremy. It hasn't for 20 years, Jeremy.
Oh, God.
It's got a different accent now, Jeremy. They dubbed you, Jeremy. Bless him. Bless him and his bollocks.
I am against Bullock-a-Rager.
We were at Collectomania, and so I would 2005, so I would have been 14. My younger brother would have been 9. And it was his first convention. I think I'd been to one before, but that was like the first one.
It was his last.
Funnily enough, I went with Lucy and our friend Ellie, and we went there. And my sort of plan was just to browse. I think I'd saved up like 30 quid, like pocket money or whatever. I was like, I'm just going to literally maybe buy something or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't think I ended up buying anything at all. But what did happen...
What can you buy with 30 quid?
But what did happen is I was wearing... Well, it was 2005, so
I know,
probably a million things.
Collectomania was Showmasters.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went there and I was wearing a leather trench coat, which was like my pride and joy at that point.
You fool.
I'm a massive Buffy fan. That was the first big purchase I ever made. It cost me £200. It was like a Christmas and a birthday and then some to buy it. And I was so chuffed with it. I was also a slimmer man, so I could pull it off.
Well.
But I was wearing that.
Weren't we all?
And Danny John Jules. So, Cat from Red Dwarf. For more modern younger viewers who have parents who love watching crime stuff. Dwayne from Death in Paradise.
Dwayne Diddler.
No, but isn't it great that his character's called Dwayne?
Yes, it is.
But he
Oh, Dwayne Diddler.
Got everything, old chum? Let me just check. Thermos, sandwiches, corn plasters, telephone money, animal footprint chart, and 1 triple thick condom.
You
never know.
Fucking love it.
So he was there, and he's obviously going back from like the bathroom with a member of staff to go back to his booth. And halfway there, he just sort of clocks me, and he just stops and he goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And he says, "Like, where did you get that?" I was like, "Oh, the coat." Suddenly, my brain going, "Fucking hell, it's the cat." And I'm like, "Oh, the coat." I got his place called Affleck's Palace. I bought it from there as well. The shop's in there. And he went, "It's amazing." He was like, and he turned to the security guy. He was saying, "This is what I was saying to you, like the leather stuff on Blade 2. Like we had coats like this for Blade 2.
Yeah, of course. It's post Blade 2.
And I was like, "All right." I said, "Well, this one's probably not as like expensive or as cool as the one you wore in Blade 2." And he was like, "I know, but it's good. It's cool. Thank you very much." Like, you said thank you very much to me for like stopping for a moment to answer his question. And then I was like, "That's all right." I said, "Can I be really cheeky? Do you mind if I get a photo?" And the staff guy looked at him and sort of was like, because obviously you meant to pay this. And Danny went, "Yeah, sure." And he sort of gave him a look like, "No, go on, we'll give it." And turned around, digital camera. My brother's got my camera. Takes a photo. So I got a photo with Danny John Jules.
I love it. 5
minutes later, I go up for my scheduled autograph from Danny John Jules. And he's like, "Hello again, you alright?" And Toby, by this point, is sort of 9-year-old Toby's like plucked up the courage a bit more because of that chat. It kind of woke him up a little. So he's just chatting with Danny John Jules for 5 minutes.
This is good.
And I think Toby's got the signed photo somewhere. He must do. But that was really sweet. And then on the way out, we passed Robert Llewellyn, like at his thing. And Toby's in such a good mood that as we're walking past that part of the alley, the row. He goes, "Hi, Crichton," and waves at him. And Robert just sort of beams and goes, "Hello," and waves over. And I'm just like, holy crap, where did that confidence come from? It's like, as we leave, and I was just like, did we just the hell just happened? Like, that was one of those where I was like, I think that was the time where I went, these can be great. These can be really cool.
Yeah.
And you can get it. Like, I was very fortunate to bump into a friend who was a guest on a panel at the second to last Comic-Con I went to, and he stopped mid-security to have a quick chat with me and stuff, and which amazed Lucy because she was really starstruck. And I was like, oh, it's just... I don't want to say it because I don't want to name drop because it sounds really big-headed. But anyway, it was like just a really cool little moment. But it was one of those where like it was only because of kind of his position that he obviously could get away with making the security wait for a moment. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas nowadays you feel like that the stars who do want to obviously stop and have a chat and stuff can't really do that. Convention hero, the guy who I absolutely adore, is Jason Mewes.
Yeah.
We met Jason Mewes in LA in 2013 when we went to Jane Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie screening in LA when we were on holiday there.
Yas.
And got a photo with him and had a quick chat with him. And then we were at LFCC in 2014 and he was a guest there. And we were like, well, fuck, we've got to go and say hello. And that was the year I cosplayed. That was the year I had... I was dressed as the 6th series 11th Doctor with a big green coat and everything. And we bought, as lovingly kept in my office, we bought the Cap Shield and the Mjolnir that were in my office from that convention because the cinema shop or whatever they were called, remember the ones that used to be near Leicester Square, just off of Shaftesbury? The cinema and TV shop, or whatever they were called. They always used to do the same stuff Planet did, but like a bit pricey, which was annoying. But they had a wider range of books and like costume items.
Yeah, they had loads of like behind the scenes coffee table books.
Yeah.
That was like their stock in trade.
Yeah, they always used to have a stall.
Overpriced posters.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. But they always used to have a stall. And they would tend to sell more stuff that was like one-off.
Yeah.
So like Movie Masters, like Dark Knight figures and things like that, they wouldn't normally get into the store. And they were selling various like, Marvel dress props. So I got my Cap Shield and Mjolnir. I managed to negotiate it and I got them for 30 quid together.
That's good.
When it should have been about 45 quid. But I was just being
That's good.
I was just being like, that's really cool. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can... I said, he said, do you like it? I was like, I don't know if I can honestly stretch 20 quid for the hammer. Like, it's really nice, but it's so lightweight that I'm worried that I'm going to break it before the end of the day.
Yeah.
And he said, like, well, like...
Don't hit anyone.
Tell you what, I'll do the shield on that for 30 quid or whatever. And I was like, yeah, okay. That'd be amazing. And then spent the rest of the day walking around dressed as the Doctor with Cap, Shield and Thor's hammer. I was doing it before it was a 1 point whatever billion movie thing to do.
My other TARDIS is an X-Wing.
But we went up to speak to Jay Mewes and Lucy and I were like, hey, so we met you briefly last September. We came to LA to watch Super Groovy Cartoon. We was like, you came all the way out for that? We were like, well, yeah. Like, not even joking. We did. We said, should we go to LA? Because we always wanted to do the Universal Park there. And when we were booking the holiday, we went, holy shit, let's go to Babylon. And then as we were doing that...
Yeah, the timing's just right.
As we were doing that, I was like, oh my god, Super Groovy Cartoon Movies out. Let's get tickets for that. And then we were like, oh my god. So while we were out there, we did 2 Smodco events, like, while we were there. And he was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Thank you so much, guys. And we've got the signed photo of him on the stairs, and it says something like, thanks for double dipping, or something like that. And it's like, oh, dude, that's so cool. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, that was awesome. But he was in front of his table, just sat on it. And there was a queue of people. Like, there's a constant queue of people.
Yeah.
But you're not meant to do that. But he didn't give a fuck. So we got a photo with him. I'm sure you've seen it somewhere as well. Like the photo of like the two of us in the show. Like,
oh yeah,
that's not meant to have been taken based on their contract. But that was great because he obviously had that thing of, fuck it, I'm here. Like, I'm going to chat with everyone and take photos. And do you know what I mean? That's the cool shit. That's the cool shit. What are your cool con stories, you big bunch of beautiful bastards?
I don't have any.
BigDamnContact@gmail.com. Have you leapt over Sophie Aldred's head? We want to know. But nothing more filthy than that. You can also get us Twitter @BigDamnCast. We're on twitch.tv/abigdamstory. And based on where you're listening to this, we're on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. So climb aboard. Climb aboard, you filthy winch. And we will see you all next time for a set fee of £75 per person.
Because next time, I'll be deadly serious next time.
What's that for?
My brain!